Welcome back to Dr. Josefina's Way, and I'm Laura Guttridge. Today we're talking about utilizing your full potential.
Yes.
And I was reading through the lesson, and you write about how most of us simply never realize what our full potential is, because one of the reasons is because it's so vast.
Yes.
So it's very hard even for someone who is very ambitious to reach their full potential because it's so enormous.
Yes.
But the sad thing is, most people don't even touch it.
Yes.
You know, and you know, yes, and it's a very sad state for
absolutely.
The trick, you say, to discovering these hidden talents is not just for earning a living, but for realizing a full and happy life. And that made me think about it, and I thought, well, that may be one of the obstacles, is because most people are looking for some kind of hidden talent that's going to earn them money. And I think that if you look within yourself and not think about the money aspect, that's when you're going to discover your real talents, and then the money comes.
Amen. Yes.
Yes. The trick is getting there.
Well, and that's why in the lesson I talk about self-honesty. When you find out what your talents or your weakness are, you have to be transparent and honest with yourself. Because like you said, Laura, if I'm going to do a job, not because it's my talent, my passion, what I really makes me happy,
right,
I'm just going to do it because I'm going to make a living and I have to pay the mortgage and I have to get the money. That is the wrong way to do about it. So, and sometimes people don't have any other choice, but at the same time that you having that job, you can still pursue your God-given talent. Example, remember I called you the other day, I said, hey, I cannot go to the ballet class because the computer geek is coming, blah, 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 blah. So I asked him, how did you get into the computer business? And he said, well, I used to be a chef, cooking here in Vero Beach, and then one day I just got fed up with this job, the cooking, you know, being a chef. Is that right, chef?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make my English as good.
No, it's correct.
So he said to me, well, since I was a little kid, I love computers. And in those days, you will get the parts, and then you will put the computer together. And that's how he learned the business in computer. So when he got fed up with being a chef and cooking, he said, I'm going into the computer business. So he got some training, and he loved what he's doing. That's what he wanted to do from since he was he said, it was my hobby.
Oh, okay. See, well, there you go.
Exactly.
It's something that they already have a passion for.
Exactly. Go ahead.
Well, and that's also why you have to embrace your weaknesses, because if his weakness was computer skills, you know, that wouldn't have worked out so well.
Exactly.
So, you know, you brace your weaknesses, whether they're physical, emotional, or intellectual.
Exactly. Now, and this is another thing that he told me.
Okay.
He said, I got in the cooking business because my father was a cook.
Oh.
So what happened, people don't follow their own talents, their own gift. They follow that thing that is familiar to them. Well, my dad is a cook, then I be a cook. My dad or my mom is a lawyer, so I will be a lawyer. And I had a client one time too, that she was coming from a family, a lawyer family here in Vero Beach. She didn't want to be a lawyer, but she became a lawyer. What was her passion? A teacher. So she moved from Vero Beach, she went to Tampa, and she became a teacher to this day.
Well, and that's, you know, and even if you are taking a step down in pay to do something that you're passionate for, that's what leads us to true happiness.
Exactly.
Because if you're doing something that you can't stand, even though it makes more money for you, it can't be worth it.
But it's not. And we see people who will have a lot of money, but they're not happy. They hate their job, or they have illnesses and all this. And I'm not putting money down. I mean, money is good. I mean, it's you pay your bills. It's awesome to have abundant.
But you know, it reminds me, we were taking Celeste to school. She just started, our daughter just started kindergarten, and we were leaving, my husband and I, and we stopped to talk to the music teacher. And he knew her from, she was on a jury or something. So we were talking, and she was talking about, oh, I'm the music teacher, and we walked away, and Bobby said, you know, I can tell she really loves what she does, and it's got to be a good career.
Absolutely.
To be around, you know, kids, and she's playing music, and it's basically stress-free, I would think. You know, being around all the children. And then I know he was like thinking about it in contrast to his kind of crazy job.
Yes.
You know, where, you know, it's very, I mean, he's very stressed out all the time.
Yeah.
Being a lawyer is a very stressful job. So it just made me think of it, and I thought, you know what, it probably is a pretty good job being a teacher.
Yes, yes.
And I would like to think that most of the teachers do have a passion for teaching.
Absolutely. I think most people who get into that career, they definitely have a passion for teaching, because they don't get paid well.
Right, and that's unfortunate.
Exactly. From the beginning, they know that they're not going to be getting paid like, you know, like other professions.
Yep.
But they do it for the passion of the teaching.
Right.
That is rewarding.
It's very rewarding,
yes,
I'm sure. You talk about assessing your abilities. Admitting our weaknesses. Did we talk about that? And when you reveal your failures, that can open up the opportunities for other things.
Yes, yes.
And can you give an example of that? Where is it because you're recognizing that you're not good at something, to open up the doors, because then you can stop focusing on something that you thought you would have been good at? You understand what I'm saying? But then you recognize that, oh, well, that wasn't for me. And that it helps you to see the light maybe for another opportunity?
Exactly. I think this is the way I will answer that. When you are born with a capacity, a talent, a body, a chemistry, a uniqueness about you. And your body, like I cannot be along the, a runner, you know, like, you see those runners, and they are tall, long legs. I used to be a speed runner, but the only reason I will win and beat my schoolmate was because she was born with the long legs, the beautiful runner figure, but she didn't train. I was at the field every single afternoon, training, practicing running, and practicing. So I used to beat her, not me having the talent, physical talent, long legs, but I train. So it's this give and take about somebody are born with a talent, somebody are born without the talent, but this person applied herself or himself. See, at the same token, I cannot be, for instance, if you know a very tall basketball player, then you know that you have limitation. But also, on the other hand, you see these short guys.
You can compensate.
Yeah, playing basketball, and they practice and practice and practice and practice. I think it has to do with perseverance, determination, and how bad do you want it.
Right.
Look at Diane. How do you say her last name, Robert? Nayad. She just did the swimming from Florida.
I saw that.
From Cuba to Key West. 64 years old.
It's amazing.
5 times. No, she didn't even achieve that when she was in her 30s. But she didn't give up.
No, she knew she had to do it.
Exactly. She didn't use age. I'm 64. And what is the typical age of people? I mean, excuse how old they are. Age has nothing to do with your abilities and your talents. And I can prove of that. I started bodybuilding when I was over 50. So, and right now I'm competing with this young woman, and I beat them. So age has nothing to do with anything. It's your discipline, your perseverance, your determination. And this is another thing. Because Bobby is a lawyer, that doesn't mean he has to die as a lawyer. He might have other talents, other ability that he can train, that he can discover. Might be photography, might be something else that is his, his hobby, that he can do, So my first career was a teacher in first grade. And look at me now. You keep evolving, you keep changing because you have talent, you have a lot of potential.
Well, the thing is with him and his career, I think he really does have a passion for the law.
Exactly.
But it is a very stressful passion to have.
Exactly. And someday he might like to change it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Someday he might wake up and say, I'm going to med school.
Yeah. It's possible.
Remember that movie, Legally Blonde?
Yeah.
That she wakes up one day and says, I'm going to med school.
That was one of his favorite movies.
It's my favorite movie. It's my favorite movie because it's so profound, it's so beautiful, it's so great.
But back to the woman that swam from Cuba.
Diane.
The amazing thing to me in that story is she had to swim at night.
Yes.
I mean, that must have been terrifying.
Yes.
I mean, no shark tanks or whatever they call it. I mean, she must have had someone shining a light, and that to me only attracts, sharks.
Yes.
So she must have been just so incredibly determined.
Yes.
And they had said, I read somewhere an article that like an hour away from reaching her goal, they thought she was very delirious and they thought she wasn't going to make it. And she said, no, I'm going to do it.
And we have to wrap it up. And we're saying goodbye. Thank you, baby. I love you.
Love you.
Hey, Twitter, Facebook, follow me, email, everything. I love you. Bye.
Bye.